Listen, we back. Welcome to the Deep Surface Experience. Man, I hadn't been here in a hot minute, man. Um, I'll just say a few things too. We have a very intriguing and special episode tonight that is near and dear to my heart, but I'll be remiss if I didn't address, the long layoff and the absence, and it's a sobering moment for sure. One of those moments in life to where you just had to be there, where God is kind of taking me through, the ails of life and dealing with the twists and turns of life. Going through a divorce is one of those things to where when you hear about it, you don't really understand the impact that it has on your life. Both parties involved, children involved in the situation. I think when you approach this situation, it's delicate. It's one of those things to where you don't really know what you know until you get inside of it, and that's just my plight in life. That's what I've had to deal with. It's not what I wanted to deal with, but it's what I've had to deal with, and I'm incredibly thankful for any obstacle that helps me ultimately get to my magnum opus in life, whatever that may be. But in each storm of my life, I realized that it doesn't rain forever.
Absolutely.
I also realized the sun don't come out forever. So everything shall pass at some point.
Absolutely.
But when you're in the midst of that thing, sometimes you don't know if it's going to ever pass. But I'm still thankful for it, man, because I'm smiling and I'm not crying. And that's a good sign. That means that the sun is peaking on the horizon. That means that something is coming. So I'm so glad to be back here at the Deep Surface Experience, because this atmosphere, this ecosystem is where I come to heal. This is where I come to release. This is where I come to find solace in my life. I've found it in my children, and I can't talk about it enough because they have ingratiated me with a love that I didn't think existed within the framework of this life. How I see myself in them. Here's what you can never do: never lose the child in you. That's what my kids are teaching me. Don't
Absolutely.
lose the child that exists within you, because the child that exists within you is the innocent part of you.
Absolutely.
It is the part of you that believes in possibility. It's the part of you that doesn't believe in fear. It's the part of you that you think you can do anything in life. You can't lose that drive and that lust for life. And watching my children, I see they got that it's just the unmitigated gall to do what they need to do in life to be successful. And they have made me turn the corner in a lot of ways in my situation. And it's just the simple things in life, man. It's the simple things in life that makes things better. But enough about me. I just want to kind of give y'all an update of what was going on with me. But I'm doing well. And every day we fighting, man. And that's the fight is to continue. If the family looks different, if the infrastructure of the family looks different, then how do you now pivot and adjust? Life is about that. You have to pivot and adjust. You have to make adjustments. Sometimes being a star in your role doesn't mean you always get to pick your role in life.
Absolutely.
Sometimes your role changes. Do you still have the ability to do what you said you were going to do as a man? That's been a challenge for me. Can I put down my pride? Can I put down what I wanted to give the family what it needed? Because that's a stressor. Because we do want pleasure. We do want respect. We do want all of these attributes that gives us life and gives us abundance. But sometimes you have to feel the other things.
Boy, you dropping some jewels, boy.
You got to feel
now.
the hurt. You got to
Come on
feel. You
now.
got to feel all of it. But the person that's saying that's dropping the jewels, I'm gonna stop talking about me in a second, because I ain't even coming here for me. Really, I really came here for somebody else, man. So, but nevertheless, y'all keep me prayed up, and I think we're gonna make a run here at the Deep Surface Experience. We come, we go, we're consistent, we're inconsistent, but it's really, Ram, what I was telling you earlier, it's really just a maturation process. It's just the unfolding. It's just you got to start somewhere.
Have to.
Yeah, and you have to sometimes keep starting somewhere. If you skip steps, you start back at the beginning. That's how life, red light, green light, right? Am I like red light, green light? So you have to start, and that's what I'm getting comfortable with, starting over until it's perfect. And if I don't get perfection, I'll land in the sea of excellence. Good deal, right? But who do I have in front of me right now, man? Listen, this is an episode or an interview that has been in brewing for about 2.5 years, I would say. This was supposed to happen, but life decided to come between it and, happened here and happened there. But we've been talking about this interview because this person that's sitting beside me, to me, let me talk about the stuff that you want to hear. The best basketball player to ever come out of South Carolina, without a question. Mr. Basketball, college athlete, professional athlete. But the most impressive thing about the young man that's sitting beside me is the genuine nature upon which he shows. His story is incredible. Anybody that's ever been around this guy has always felt comfortable. I've never seen this, him and my mama, I've never seen this guy do wrong by anybody. I've seen this guy, the only intensity that I've ever seen from this guy was on the basketball court. You a different person when you get on the basketball court. But unbelievable athlete, unbelievable person, incredible story that we want to dive into tonight, man, and just kind of go down this journey, man, because and by the way, his name is Brandon Freeman, by the way. How you doing, my guy?
Good, my boy.
Good to see you. Good. Make sure you get a close-up on my guy, too, in this jacket, too, because it's super flying. The jacket is crazy, bro. But how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. Blessed, man.
How's life? Talk to me a little bit. How's life?
Hey, I'm good, man. I can't complain at all, man. Small town kid, Greenwood, South Carolina.
Yes, sir. Greenwood, stand up. That's where we from.
And to evolve to where I'm at now, bro, like I'm truly blessed, bro.
Wow.
I'm truly blessed.
That's amazing, bro. So let's jump right into it, man. Go ahead.
Don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But first, bro, I just want to say I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely.
Man. Like you said, it's been a long time coming, a long process brewing, man. It's been like 2.5 years. Last time I was home, time didn't permit itself.
It didn't.
But now we here, man.
We are here, man. And you've been where are you visiting from?
Belgium.
Where?
Residing in Belgium now. That's
crazy.
Yes,
So from Greenwood to Belgium.
Greenwood to Belgium.
So let's rewind the story a little bit and go back to Greenwood a little bit. So you grew up in Greenwood, South Carolina. Tell us a little bit about, your childhood and kind of what you experienced during your childhood.
Well, when I sit here and think back, I was raised by my grandmother.
Really?
Yes. Rest in peace to her.
Absolutely.
She passed a couple years ago. So I was a grandma's boy.
Wow. So you being a grandma's boy, where were your mother and your father during that period, if you don't mind sharing?
Of course. My mom, I was with my mom for a little bit when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were things that happened with my mom that I wouldn't like to discuss, but
of course
I ended up with my grandmother and my father. Like, I want to say the last time I seen him when I was about 3 years old.
Wow. And
I haven't seen him since. I was in contact with him here and there, but never met each other since that time when I was little. And then, my mom, she was always around, but, I was raised by my grandma and my granddad, and that's how I came up.
Yeah. How did not having a father in your life, how did that, have an effect on you as a child? Did you notice? Was there any gap or anything of that nature? being that you had your grandmother and your grandfather there?
To be honest, I was so young, man. It really didn't bother me.
Wow.
It really didn't bother me. And then, not to speed forward, but, I started playing. I was playing sports.
Yeah.
Let's just say sports.
Yeah.
I was into football. I was into baseball. I was into basketball. And then I found that true love in basketball, bro. And and from there I never looked back. And I think once I found that love for basketball, like that was kind of my escape from not having my dad and my mom in my life. Basketball was my escape, and that was all I knew. So when I was on the court, like all of that stuff didn't matter, and it was kind of like it was my safe haven.
Was it hard to compartmentalize how was it hard for you to separate the two at first when you trying to like, okay, this situation going over here, but I got this thing over here right now called basketball that's saving me? Was it hard to compartmentalize that when you first started?
No, it wasn't, because I didn't have them there for so long.
Yeah.
Like it didn't bother me. And now when I think back on it, I didn't think about it then, but now when I think back on it, it was like that's what that ball kept me going.
It did.
And it didn't let me think about, that other stuff that was going on in my life. So, but now today, like, I thank God that my mom is still here.
Absolutely.
And we have a great relationship, and her thing was her thing, and I didn't hold that against her, because everybody goes through their thing, and I just thank God that she's still here. I can still call her. She calls me all the time, man. Like she just calls me to just check up on me and my kids and my family.
That's good.
Like, bro, I'm thankful to still have her here, and yeah, man, like I said, bro, I'm just blessed, bro.
And sometimes you have to allow the restoration process to happen, because nobody's life is picture perfect. Nothing happens to anybody in a linear form. Things go this way, things go that way. And one of the most impressive things, because I got the chance to watch you grow up too as well. Yeah, it's just watching the perseverance, the quiet perseverance, I call it, that just quiet confidence that you've always carried. And I want to know what's your earliest, because I know basketball became your love, and I watched it, and it was almost like the crazy part about it was an emergence that happened. I think it was around the 7th to 8th grade.
Yeah.
I think you finally showed face. Because Brad, I'm gonna keep it a band. You weren't always Brandon Freeman on the basketball court. You was skinny, flailing. I mean, you was like untapped potential. But there came a day that you sprouted like a mother ucker, boy. You sprouted up. And I think it was the 7th or 8th grade. Tell me about your earliest like basketball moment where you said to yourself, okay, like I can do this a little bit. Tell me talk to me about that.
To go back, I say, like I always played around the neighborhood. For the people that know, I lived on Russell Street. I roamed Taggart Street. If you know, you know.
Facts.
And I can still remember just being outside. Like my grandma, she bought me a basketball and a basketball goal, and we had a tiny little driveway, man. No space at all. And I would be out there every day, bro, with the ball, dribbling, shooting, just not knowing what I'm doing. I was just so in love with playing and you know, when I found that love for basketball, like I would just be out there every day shooting and playing and with no direction. But when I got to middle school, they like, you want to come join the team? Like, join the team? I never.
So you had no intentions of playing for middle school? Okay.
I had, but also can't forget about the rec.
Oh man, yeah, man, come on.
Can't forget about the
rec. You can't forget the rec.
How am I gonna sit here and forget about the rec?
You can't, bro.
If you know, you know.
You know the rec. I think for those who aren't from Greenwood, South Carolina, the rec was probably some of the most competitive basketball I've ever played in my. If you went inside of that gym, you better be a dog. If you wasn't a dog going in, either you were never coming back, or you was gonna be made a dog.
Yeah.
Because it did. I'm talking about Amp, Mark, Vaughn. I'm talking about Dallas. It's unlimited guys. Remember Sherman? It was so many people that from Greenwood that made like that made you who you are by the friction. Man, every game was competitive. Every game. It was not one game. I've never played a game at the rec where somebody just said, "Oh, I'm gonna let you win," and the court was this narrow.
Bro,
that's what
it probably was like the width of this building.
Yeah, it's probably about the width of this building.
We didn't even have a full 3-point.
we
just had an arc. We just had an arc at the top of the key, and like, bro, we're young.
Absolutely,
we're young playing at the rec. So picture the rec. You got beams. Steel beams running across the ceiling, and we in the gym with just a tiny arc. We trying to shoot threes. We shooting threes over the beams. Like, who does this? Who's playing like this?
I remember this. Yeah.
So like we were developing skill way back then that carried us over into playing high school ball, middle school ball, high school ball. Like we were developing those skills. Then, not even knowing it.
Absolutely.
In the most difficult situations, and when we get in a gym that's regular gym, like,
it's curtains.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like the rec. For the people that know about the rec, like you know what it took to come into the rec.
And my handle got better in the rec because the spacing. Either you were going to make one move and go. You couldn't do a whole bunch of stuff because you were going to be out of bounds. And when the game started, people was on the sidelines. People watch above the rim. I played in above the rim every day. I'm talking about these people from the hood. They screaming and yelling at you. The girls in the gym, and they eating the popsicles. They getting the juicy juices. Think about it, Brandon.
In the
moon pies, them hot dogs, man. I'm talking about that was some of the most competitive. That made me the athlete that I became because everybody else was easy. Come on, man. You play against somebody like Mark. You play against somebody pushing up on you like this, and you got to go by them. And you playing against guys who didn't make it. We young. Think about it, Brandon, how they used to play us when we got really good. So I understand we got to get a rec some love.
Hey.
100%, man. Miss Pat. Miss Dale. Shout out to them, man.
Amp.
Absolutely. Amp was a staple, man.
Yeah.
Amp was strong too, bro.
Yeah, he was.
I ain't never seen somebody win so much. Amp could win. Yeah. I watched and you know what? And it's what we talked about. Sometimes you don't get to choose your role all the time. When you be a star in your role, your team wins. His team won because he did all the things that the people who always wanted to shoot the ball didn't want to do.
Yep.
Defense, rebounding, box out, little slight here, little screen here, just little stuff that'll get you 1, 2, 3 point. Next thing you know, you're at game point. Yep. Those little things that help you win.
Got to show love to Camp 8, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And he knew talent, bro.
Absolutely, he did.
He knew talent when he seen it.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk to Amp today, he'll tell you the story 100% of the time. He was like, man, I remember this little snotty-nosed kid pulling up to the rec on his little BMX bike coming to play. And who was that?
You.
That was me.
So
he still tell me this story to this day, man. He was like, "You want to play on my team?" I like, man, why? Sure, why not? And ever since then, every time I played at the Rec, it was with Amp.
Yep.
Nobody else. Every time with Amp.
That's crazy. So the Rec obviously helped you develop a sort of a toughness.
For sure, 100%.
But you went on, obviously, middle school, everybody found out, man, we got this kid named Brandon Freeman, and your niche was you could shoot that basket. I think shooting, I want to talk about shooting for a second. I think shooting is a real talent. I think that no matter how much you practice, there are certain people that just got touched. The ball just feels different because everybody tries. Like, bro, I can go out and just say, let me do the form, same way you do it, and shoot it, and I'll miss it way more times than you do. It's a feeling, and I think it's just a gift that God gives people, the ability to shoot the ball. And Brand, I really think the good Lord gave you that gift to shoot the ball because I remember you coming into the 9th grade, and it was when I started to get good. I was real bad still at that time, but I was starting to get good, and there was this buzz around town. Brandon Freeman coming in. This blue chip, this guy coming in, and I think, did you realize that, in a small town you were a big fish, and did you realize, like, in the 9th grade, what kind of 4 years you were about to have?
Not at all, bro. But just to go back, you wanted to talk about shooting. Just to go back, when I told you I had that basket in the driveway, and I would be out there every day just playing with no direction. And I remember one day I was out there, and my uncle, Freedy, he was
Shout out to Freedy.
He was coming home from work, and I was out there just doing what I do on the regular, shooting. And then I was shooting from my chest. Like shooting from my chest. And he got out the car. He was like, man, what you doing, man? You shoot the ball like that. And he was a lefty. And
Freddie, I remember that. Yeah.
You know how lefties get down. And he was like, man, like you don't shoot the ball like that, man. You got to put it in your pocket and come here with it and shoot it from here. And when he told me that, man, I was out there every day just working on that form and trying to perfect that form, man. And something, I don't know what happened, bro, but it happened.
It did.
It happened, bro.
I'm talking about.
It happened.
Boy, you had a wetter. I'm talking about everybody. You had a wetter. And I was like, man, where did this come from? And I think it came with a lot of skill, too, as well. I think you had a natural movement for the game at an early age. I think that's what a lot of coaches, Coach Reed, everybody who was watching you come up. Because did you play varsity in your 9th grade year? Or did they move you up?
Yeah. I moved up half of the year.
Half of the year. I think that's when the hype was, okay, can he play? Let's stick him on a 9th grade team.
I remember, I think it was Lawrence.
Was it Lawrence?
9th grade team, Coach Bradley. Lawrence. I think I had 30.
You had 30?
I had 30. And the next day, Coach Reed called me in his office, like, we want to move you up to varsity. And me being a grandma's boy, I was like, I don't know. My grandma, I don't think she's going to be all right with that. She ain't going to be cool with that. He was like, you know what? We going to come to your house and talk to your grandma to get you on our team. And, bro, he came. They talked to my grandma. And I think I might have been playing football, I think. And she was like, I don't know about that. Them boys be playing rough out there. She was like, you already come home every day talking about your body hurt. I was like, come on, Grandma. This like, they really want me to play. Like, let me go play. And then she finally said yes, man, and the rest was history.
Wow. How was you feeling your night? Did you feel any nerves? How did you feel, when you first got to varsity? Did you feel like, let me ask you this question, 9th, 10th, or 11th, when did you feel like you belong? in high school? When did you feel like you could be a pretty good high school basketball player?
I think because during that time in our conference, we were 4A. In our conference, you had Malden.
Westside, T.L. Hannah.
And Malden at that time, they were tough.
Absolutely, they were.
They were tough.
They were super good.
I'm talking about super tough. And I think when I played Malden and I had maybe 25, 30 points on Malden, I was like, okay. As a ninth grader with the team they had, I'm like, okay, I can do something with this. And from then, bro, I don't think I looked back, but I was just a kid wanting to play. Like, I ain't care about no accolades, no attention, none of that. I just genuinely wanted to play the game of basketball and love playing the game of basketball. And I think that's one of the things that helped me, stand out and get to the point where I was at in high school, because I didn't have a big head.
You didn't?
Like, people would always tell me how good I was.
100%.
I stayed the same person. Like, I was the same person to my friends, to my teammates, to my family, to my teachers, to my classmates, everybody. I didn't change. I stayed the same person. I didn't get the big head. And if you think I got the big head, then that was a you problem.
That was unequivocally a you problem. But I can confirm that. I can not only confirm that, but that is good, Brandon, because I think the game of basketball gave you what you gave it, pure love. Sometimes we want to play the game to look good. Sometimes it's even about competition. But when I think the approach that you took is just, I have this love for this game. And I think the love you had for the game, it gave it back because you diligently sought the game. I think sometimes when people get good, then the attention becomes more than the game. So they like that more than they like doing their due diligence, because one thing about sports and basketball, you have to continue to put in the work. You have to continue to unpack those layers, because skills, there's more skills to be gotten. There's more, you will never know it all, because basketball is such a free-flowing sport. You just never know. You can be 0 for 5 in the first half, and then you could be 5 for 5 in the second half. But what goes from 0 for 5 to 5 is the work, the due diligence, the extra time that you put in the gym, that you did miss those 5 shots. And I think that's what you're talking about, because I did watch you blossom through your 9th, 10th, 11th, because I was inspired on watching you. It made me work I wanted to play with you. I was a point guard. You was a shooting guard. My entire life, from 7th grade to 11th grade, in my mind, nobody else. I didn't have the language to articulate it. But when I seen you shooting, I knew enough, and I had already been a student of the game. I said, boy, he got the right point guard. And I was looking at CJ too. Yeah. I was eyeing CJ. I wanted, CJ. I put my eyes on him to kind of, because I liked the way he played the game. He was incredibly fundamental. But I said, I got to play with this guy, because I felt like I had something, to give. I felt like you would make the game easier with the skill set I already had. But enough about me. We will get to that in a minute. But fast forward, we're getting up to, you put in the work your 10th and your 11th grade year, and now here we are. Here's the work now. Now the work is saying, hey, it's culminating to something. Now we'll get to your senior year. And the senior year, to me, like we talked about a little earlier, is probably one of the most exciting times in my life, because that's when we finally got a chance to play together. And, man, I think that year, the work, do you feel like your senior year, do you feel like everything just came together for you? Do you feel like that? How did you feel your senior year, like coming into the year? Did you feel like you would have that year that you had?
I just felt like at that point, going from 9th, 10th, 11th, And then coming into my senior year, I kind of felt like I had something to prove, because I wasn't the tallest guy. I mean, I was 6'3", but I wasn't the strongest guy. I wasn't the fastest guy, but I had a skill.
You did.
That a lot of kids didn't have at that time.
Absolutely. You were, and I'm going to say this, I ain't going to interrupt you, but you were ahead of your time too. But go ahead, keep going. You were way ahead of your time with that.
I just felt like I had something to prove, and from game one to the last game, like, it was always like, I'm going out here to prove a point. Like, I got a chip on my shoulder. Like, if they don't know, they gonna know.
Absolutely, and they did, and they found out.
And with all that, like, I was still the same person. But like you said, when I got on the court, I was a different person.
You was.
Everybody that know me then and everybody that know me now, like, I'm a soft-spoken guy. Like, I don't, I'm not very outspoken. I'm pretty soft-spoken, but when I was on the court, I was a different person.
Well, I can confirm that too. I got a couple brand lashes too. But if you clap that hand like that, boy, I'm right there. But you were that's what people don't know. Like if you're on the court with you, I felt the intensity. Like here the best way to describe it is I felt the expectation. You're seeing. I felt the weight of. I think midway through the season, I knew how bad you wanted to win. I felt it every time we got on the court, every pass, every defensive possession. I think we put a lot of teams away early too, and we didn't. I think it was an urgency there with that team, and I think led by you. I think would you average 26 that year?
Like 28.
28. I mean, listen. I mean, you, Brandon, you was clipping. I wish we could do a whole video for kids now to see how fundamentally sound you were back then, running through it like a mix between Rip Hamilton and Steph Curry. The way you would get your shots, they wouldn't be hard shots. I mean, you sort of remind me of Luka a little bit now when I look back and think about it, how you slow play. I mean, methodical. You don't let I realized you've never let anybody speed you up, and they wouldn't even run in pick and roll actions at that time. Think about that. We wouldn't even run in real pick and roll actions where we could
just running pin downs.
Yeah, we're running pin downs. So that year was an incredible year, but our magnum opus was we went to the state championship game, and unfortunately we lost by 3. Lord have mercy.
So we won the first. I mean, we lost the first game to, was it North Augusta?
North Augusta.
We lost the first game and lost the last game.
Yep. Yeah, that is.
Yeah. That's how it went.
That's how it went, man. But incredible season. But you won Mr. Basketball of the year. Yeah. Best player in South Carolina.
4A, Mr.
4A. It ain't get no better than the 4A. So that was the best of the best.
Yes, the highest,
how did that
region in the state.
So what did that mean to you, man? Like, do you feel like that was your culmination at that point? And when they told you it was in a run, and how did you feel? Did you feel like you had a great chance of winning it?
Yeah, of course. Because I don't think nobody in the state at that time was playing at the level I was playing.
No.
Especially in 4A. Like, no disrespect to the other guys that was in the running, but like, you had to see the impact.
Yeah.
Because we packed out the gym every single game.
Man, it was a movie. You had to be there, bro. You had to. Every game, like I said, looked like an above the rim game. Every game did, bro. You could hear everybody screaming right there. Talk about a pressure cooker, bro. So I agree. Like, Mr. Basketball, that's insane, bro.
And I thought I had a great chance of winning, because the year I had, and like the things I was doing on the court, the way I was shooting the ball, like I don't think anybody ever seen a kid at that time shooting the ball like I was shooting.
I didn't.
Not to pull on my own coattail, but I'm just.
Oh, this your moment though.
I'm just saying.
This your moment. Listen, this your moment.
Like,
Do what people get on podcasts and do. They set the record straight.
like you always say, I was Steph Curry before Steph Curry.
100%. Anybody that's watching this video, especially if you're from Greenwood or any surrounding area, or even in on a national scale, because you went to the Nike camp as well. So there was not at that time a person shooting the ball like you. We're gonna get into we're gonna go to college here in a minute, but I'll say this: if you come out today, you're gonna get drafted at some point. If you came out today, because back then you got to think about it. Everything was about size. During that time, they were still throwing the ball down to the post, and that was literally really the primary offense, like your big old post player. That's what people were looking for. That's why some people who had 2 left feet and they was just tall, they can be on the basketball team back then. Right. But you don't see that now, do you? You don't see the tallest guy in school in basketball, because it's a skill game. That's why I said earlier, I think you were before your time. I think you came before, like, your prime area right now, because shooting right now is a premium. Yeah. Right now, shooting is a premium. So that shooting, you obviously, Mr. Basketball, you want to say something else while I go?
I don't mean to cut you off, but we had that senior year, we had just got the new
court.
And we had an eagle on both hash marks diagonal to each other. And I can't remember what game it was. But I remember pulling a 3 from the eagle, splash.
That's crazy.
And I still hear Amp up there. Be free for 3. I hear it, bro. I still hear it to this day, bro.
Oh man,
bro, I swear those are some good times, man, and I still cherish them to this day, man.
Absolutely, it made us, because during that season too, we had some tough times when that. Remember we got left. Remember that, me and Jermaine.
We always went to Burger King. Burger King. What's the chicken sandwich they got?
They got the is it McChicken sandwich? No, it's the original chicken. It's the original chicken.
Yeah. That was
pregame. And a Fanta slushie. We used to get that pregame.
Every game. It was the Burger King right there. It used to be in front of the mall. I remember, bro.
And
like yesterday.
I was thinking to myself, they'll leave me and Jermaine, but they're not gonna leave Brandon.
Hey, I learned that day.
You did. Did we get to play the second half? Oh,
yeah, we got to play.
Okay, we got to play. Yeah,
but the first half we was on the bench.
We was on the bench. I was mad too. But that was a great season, man, with great guys, man. But so you, after high school, you go to college. Tell me about the recruiting process a little bit, because you, Mr. Basketball, one would think, okay, South Carolina, Duke, North Carolina, you would think the big schools would become calling. Why do you think the schools that knew who you were, obviously, didn't come calling for you during that time?
Well, I did receive letters from big schools, like I had a couple letters from Wake Forest.
Yeah, I think I remember, yeah.
I had a couple letters from Georgia Tech, and a few more here and there. But unfortunately, yeah, my grades weren't good enough. My grades were good enough, but I just didn't pass the SAT. And that was one of the reasons why I chose the junior college route. So if I did pass the SAT, story probably would have been different. But I'm glad the story
happened the way it happened. Yeah, absolutely.
But I went the junior college route.
So talk a little bit about that. Talk to your college journey a little bit for me.
All right, coming out of high school, I had a couple junior colleges as well. I can't remember the other ones, but the one I went to, Chipola, down in Marianna, Florida. I went on that visit, man, and they sold it.
Yeah.
They sold it. And I'm glad I went far away from home.
Yeah.
Because I think if I would have stayed closer to home, I would have been trying to get back home as often as I could, and my focus probably wouldn't have been where it needed to be. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go away. You know, if I need to get home, it's gonna be some hours away.
Yeah.
You know, so
you're gonna have to figure it out then.
I'm gonna have to figure it out, and I'm glad I did that because like it taught me, it made me grow up in a sense.
Yeah.
Like grandma ain't gonna always be, you know, right here to help you out. So I'm happy I went away, you know, as far as I did, and just the program in Chipola, it was a good program to go to because they had a winning tradition, and you know, the guys that they brought in, like, you know, it was tough, man. It was tough.
Junior college tough.
Yeah. It was tough to earn a spot and to go off and play, you know, all these other guys that's hungry trying to get to D1 schools. Like, it was tough, man, and I'm thankful I went the route that I went.
So after that, where did you go?
After 2 years in Chipola, I transferred to Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
Arkansas at Little Rock, and I was there for 2 years.
Who played it? Who?
Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher. That's what I knew. I'd say Derek Fisher.
Fisher. Yeah. I went there. I also had Georgia State was also recruiting me at the time.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's new. That's news to me. Okay,
yeah.
I like Georgia State.
Georgia State, but again, Georgia, South Carolina.
Yep.
Close to home.
You can get right back there. Yeah.
Close to home. I'm like, nah, man. That's 4 hours away from the crib. I'm like, I need to be somewhere. I need to be somewhere far. So went on my visit to Arkansas Little Rock. Again, they sold it. I remember, you know, they brought me in, and at that time they were playing at Alltel Arena. It was big arena, seat like 20,000 people. Of course, we didn't pack out the gym, but just to play in that,
absolutely,
play in that type of arena, like it brought the feeling back from state.
Yeah,
playing in those big arenas, like, and I went there, man, and again, another growing period. This time I was at a Division I in the Sun Belt Conference.
Yep.
Like, it ain't no more playing. Like, you gotta, like, these dudes out here, they trying to get to the next level, which was
professional basketball, NBA, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
You know, and it was like going to Arkansas, coming into a whole different situation. You know, having to build new relationships, learn your teammates, learn your coaches. Like, it was tough, man. And like I said again, like I'm happy, I'm thankful I took the route that I took.
What was your, you know, kind of, so you played at Arkansas, have a pretty good career there.
Yeah.
Which led you, obviously. So what was your next steps? Because you went a little bit further too.
Yeah.
You keep going further and further.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah. So after you left, did you feel like you could play professional basketball? What was your thinking about the NBA after you left Arkansas?
I thought I had two good seasons at Arkansas Little Rock. But I don't think I was hopeful that the next step was the NBA, but that wasn't the case. I had after college I got an agent, and he wasn't talking about NBA. He was talking about overseas. I'm like
China. Shanghai Sharks.
I'm like overseas. Like, what do you mean? Like, I never knew.
Yeah.
He was like overseas, like Europe. I was like, okay, I'm open to it. So I think some time went by, and back then they had the semi-pro league, WBA. It was a WBA league, semi-pro, and they had a team in Arkansas called what was it? Arkansas Archangels or something like that. I think it was.
I've never heard of mosque called the Archangels.
Arkansas Archangels. So after college, I did that for like a season, and then I think I went back home. And then my coach that coached me, he was assistant coach at Arkansas Little Rock. He got the job. That's when the G League.
Yeah.
It was a D League then.
Mm-hmm.
That's when that came about. And he was like, all right, I'm going to get the head coaching job of the team. We're going to pick you up in the draft. I was like, okay, cool. So I think I got picked up in the second round or something. So that happened. Then I went back. Season training camp started. Went to training camp, and it's Arkansas, so I think they pretty much had the guys that they knew they were gonna pick. Went through that whole process, man. I'm talking about I killed the training camp. And of course they called me in. They was like, yeah, you had a great training camp, but unfortunately, we gotta let you go. And I was like, man, like that was my chance. So after that, I think I went back home, and then after that situation, I got a call from my agent. He was like, I got an opportunity for you in Belgium. And we talked about it. He told me the area that it was in, the team. It was, what was it? Ghent Dragons at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool, I'll take it. No problem, I'll take it. And from that point on, that's when my overseas career started.
How long did you play overseas?
I want to say 12, 13 years.
You played 12 years. You had that's crazy, because I think we think sometimes the NBA is the end all be all, but a professional basketball career. And me and Tim, we always argue about how hard it is to play basketball versus football. But I do know how hard it is to make it professionally in basketball, because there's not that many roster spots.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? And a lot of teams are looking for a specific skill set. And I think ultimately through even your career, and that's why we talk about shooting. Again, like you said, you're not overwhelmingly gonna consuming with your athleticism. You're not dunking on everybody, but the skill set. And it's not just shooting, to me. I think it's the movement as well. Yeah. I think it's just those natural basketball movements. You see it with Steph. Yeah. You see it with a lot of guys. You see what, you know what I mean? Just where they just put you in uncomfortable situations. And I think that might have allowed you to play 12 years, because you always brought something to the team that pretty much nobody else could probably do on a consistent basis. I don't think people understand shooting 39 to 42 to 43% is unbelievable on any professional level. What was your career 3-point percentage?
I want to say like right at 40%.
That's
40, 41.
Man, that's insane, bro. That's insane. Like I say, if you were playing today, That's enough. And then if you were playing professional day, man, overseas, these guys are coming.
Yeah.
These guys are coming, man. But
I think even back when I was in high school, like if we would have had social media then,
oh,
like
absolutely.
it would have been like how these guys are getting overnight stardom. Like all it take is one clip.
It is, and you there.
All it take is one clip, and that's it.
They calling you, bring them here because
That's it.
now basketball again, like the internet, you can find those hidden gems. You can find that guy who can. He ain't the greatest, but he got entertainment value with his game. There's so many different nuances with basketball now, but the fact that all of these things exist. I want you to think about this. All the people that play basketball, Brandon, you played for 13 years. You a Hall of Famer also, and Greenwood High too is where they retired your jersey. You're a Hall of Famer. Like that's unprecedented. A little boy that started off in a uncharacteristic situation, but somehow you manage to stay innocent. Like I talked about earlier, don't let the child die in you. I think you managed to do that even up until this day because just genuine nature. It comes to your children. Speaking of your children, you was in Belgium, so you decided you played basketball, had a great career. So over there, you kind of decided to stay. What made you stay over there?
Man, you know, I met an amazing woman, man. We have two beautiful kids.
Wow.
My first daughter, Imani, she's 15.
She looked just like you too.
Yeah.
I wish Tim could just put a picture right beside Brandon because they look just alike too.
And my baby, Alexia, she's 7.
Wow.
And Imani, she'll be 16 this year. And my wife, Nadine, man, I couldn't ask for a better wife and better kids, man. Like, they really have changed and humbled me, man. Like, it's amazing to think where I came from and how I grew up to, like, bro, it's hard to explain, bro. Like, you just gotta go through it, man.
Yeah.
You just gotta live it.
Yeah.
To understand what I'm saying. And once you grow up a certain way, then you have kids, like, you don't want your kids to go down that same path that you went. So I try my best to give them the things that I didn't have and let them see the things that I didn't see when I was their age. And now, like, I'm living proof of all of that.
You are, man. And that's the crazy because I've gotten a chance to see you interact with your daughters while you've been here. And it's amazing to watch, you know, that gentle, kind soul translate to your kids and be there. I think the blessings, Brandon, that continue to persist in your life is a remnant of how you have not changed and you being yourself. See, being yourself is not that you're nice to everybody all the time. It just means that I'm consistently Brandon and you are able to live within yourself. Sometimes tragedy can be your triumph. The things that you experience as kids, you learn how to go within yourself and not come out. And then when you brought basketball within yourself, then you were able to create your own world and just create an entire life from that. You see how they work, man? An entire life from that. From what should have been, you maybe should have been on the streets. You were right there in the hood, Brandon. If that jump shot didn't go, oh, you were slanging that dope. Oh, if that jump shot, Brandon, if you didn't develop a jump shot, oh my God, you cooking chickens. But that may have been the route. It may not have been the route. We don't know. But what I'm saying is it could have been likely during that time because you got to think about it. Where we were from, there were not a lot of options like it is now. The possibility wasn't there. Social media didn't exist. So you didn't know you could go be a content creator and create the Deep Surface experience. Oh, I know, a little shameless plug. But you didn't know all the things that you could participate in as a creator or an artist, whatever you decided to do. It was so limited to your proximity. So the fact that now, man, you've gotten out and you bloomed. Just even as a aside, we talked about like fashion. That's something that you've always fly cool kid. Hold on before we go to fly cool kid. I just thought about something.
Talk to me.
Do you remember we was in a group? We were saying we was rapping Headhunters. Brandon's a rapper too as well. Hey. Brandon, you was good though. I don't know. Why did you stop rapping? I think you could probably still rap, bro. You were actually good. I'm not even glazing you right now.
I probably could, bro, but life changed.
Yeah.
You know, like some of the stuff I was talking about back then, I'm like,
you can't talk about that now.
Can't talk about that now.
You can't.
Far from it.
Nah, but it was just it was so fun. Like just creating and not knowing what we were doing. It was I remember at that time it was so innocent. We had no motives. We were just being kids, man. And that was the beautiful thing about living back during that time, man. We had a good time. And there was a lot of good people from that era, from Greenwood, man, that helped shape and mold us and grow us, man. But, you know, back to you in Belgium with your wife and kids, what is it, you know, on a more family note real quick before we get out of here, what is it like being a husband now? You know, you transition from basketball to now you're a family man and, you know, playing professional basketball for so long, sometimes that transition can be abrupt to come back into normal society and do what normal people do on an everyday basis. Was that an adjustment for you, not just with you, but you and your family at the time when you first stopped playing?
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but towards the end of my career, like I had the possibility. Well, I was able to work and play basketball at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, that's. I mean, a lot of guys do it like that were at a lower level.
Yeah.
Because my last 2 years, I played second division.
Gotcha.
And I think since I was able to work and play, like my transition to out of basketball was smooth.
Okay, that's good. Yeah,
it was smooth because it wasn't like I was just playing basketball and basketball just stopped.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, oh, what I'm about to do. So I was fortunate to play and work at the same time, which made my transition smoother. And on the point of me being a husband, like, who would ever thought?
I would be honest. You're right.
Gotta be true.
You right about that. I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it. I never thought you would get married.
I gotta be true. You said tell your story, right?
Yeah, because I didn't think you would ever get married.
I gotta be true.
Yeah, but you know that's the irony of life. And the thing is, you probably would have always made a good husband, like you are. You know what I mean? The patience you have. I think that is a recipe, obviously, for a productive husband. And you have that. And I think, you know, while wrapping up, I think the culmination from Greenwood to Belgium is, you know, you remain Brandon. Even though 2 different locations, you still remain the same. True. People be like, I'm humble. No, humbleness is a lifestyle that reeks off of you, and it makes people feel comfortable or uncomfortable around you. And I think you possess that naturally. And that's the gift that God has given you from a little boy, that gift of humbleness. And look at what has led you. You're a productive member in another society. I'm glad you got out of America. Would you ever come back? Do you feel like Belgium's home now?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know whether to feel mad or upset or like, okay, that's good. I don't know. I got mixed feelings because we miss you, obviously. And, it's good seeing you.
But you never know. Things
you're right.
Things may change.
Yeah.
My wife talks about it sometimes. Like, when the kids are gone, who knows?
Yeah.
But
So
now, Belgium is home, and it was a time where I didn't come back, but now I think I'm gonna make it a point
good.
to come back every 2 to 3 years.
Good.
Just so and my people are always welcome.
Yeah, we coming over next year because me and you already. Obviously, I've come to visit you before.
You came.
I was in Belgium. We was in Amsterdam. That was crazy, right?
We'll talk about that.
I think 56 nights crazy. We was in Amsterdam. We ain't gonna talk about Amsterdam though.
Amsterdam was a good time.
It was a good time, man. And the thing over there. Tell me about the culture over there a little bit. I know we got to go, but I just want to know. Tell me about the culture. First of all, tell me about. I want to know because you're in the I started talking about your fashion, because that jacket is fire. I'm gonna reiterate that.
Appreciate it.
Tell me a little bit about fashion and how you've been influenced by fashion because you've always been pretty sharp. You've been a pretty sharp guy, a leader in the trend house. You've always kind of had your own style and you kind of walked to your own bit of your drum when it comes to that. Tell me what fashion means to you in that way and why you gravitated to it so much.
I think fashion for me is an expression of who I am as a person. Like, I don't like to fit in with the crowd. I like to be different and stand out from the crowd. And I think that's what fashion means to me. And I was kind of drawn to it, like, cause I can sew my own clothes.
Yeah, you can make your own clothes. Yeah,
I can make my own patterns, and it took some time to do it. But once I learned how to do it and understand how clothes are put together, and how things are stitched together by, even if it was buying clothes and taking them apart and stitching them back together, or taking something old that I had, taking it apart, stitching it back together, but just understanding how clothes are put together and measurements and how it fits on your body and just stuff like that. And I remember when I first went to Europe, it was these big baggy pants, big long button-up shirts. And then when I got to Europe, I'm like, man, like the style over here is totally different. And that when I was there and then I came back and I was wearing like the Euro style, people like, what is this?
Yeah.
This dude done changed. Like, no, I ain't changed. I'm just changing with the times. And you see how the fashion changed. Everybody started wearing more slim fitting clothes and everything. And I just like to be different, man, and stand out.
Yeah, because Europe is one of the leading places with fashion as well,
for
obviously.
For sure.
And I think, now we're going back to more of the baggy, more of the fitted. I think more of fashion always changes because expressions always change. How we see the world always changes. Sometimes our clothes it speaks louder than your mouth. Especially if you're into fashion. I think you've done a good job with that. But this just shows the multifaceted nature that, if you learn one skill, you can learn another one.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Like, because shooting, sewing, all these things, these skills that you're learning, started from that one skill in the driveway. Started from that one, just that you just never know one thing can take you all the way from Greenwood to Belgium.
Exactly.
So, man, this was a great one. Man. It was a great one, man. I just, it means a lot, man, because We talked about it early. We don't have to lie. Don't lie at my funeral. I want to write my obituary now through my actions, through my words, through my sacrifices, and that way you could just see what I have done through my life. And I think you're writing a resume in your life that is incomparable. I think it's going to be one that people can see and be inspired to. You don't have to be, like you say, the Bravo guy all out in front of the camera, all in the video. You don't got to be that. You were still able to have success. You still wasn't. You don't have to have regret about you didn't go to the NBA. You played 12 years. Most people will never even play college basketball. That's the truth. Most people don't even step on a college Division III basketball court, much less playing professional basketball. And sir, you got a chance to do that. So kudos to you, my guy. And I want to give you the last words. If you got anything to say, man, go ahead and say it.
Man, I just want to, first and foremost, I just want to say, you know, I'm very thankful for, you know, my family, you know, my sisters, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, everybody that's been in my life, because, you know, without them, I wouldn't be who I am today. And, you know, they really, like, just coming back home, like just recently, yesterday, what's today, Monday?
Yeah, Monday.
Okay. Saturday, you know, my sister, she gave me a party.
Shout out to Keiston.
Shout out to Keiston.
And Randy on the grill. And my boy Randy on the, what's up, Bo?
And my sister Leisha.
Yep.
Shout out to you too. She gave me a party, man, and it really showed me the love that people around me have for me, and it's really, again, humbling, bro, to see that so many people, you know, love me the way they do, and like I'm so thankful and blessed to have that type of family and friends, because, you know, being away for so long, like sometimes, you know, life and then
absolutely
time flies and you look up and you haven't seen these people in so long, and then when you get a chance to see them, like, you had to embrace every moment and appreciate those times, because life is short.
Absolutely.
And we can't, you know, hold grudges against nobody, family, friends.
Absolutely.
You know, nobody.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, you know, thank you to my friends and family, and to everybody that's been a part of my life. I really appreciate it.
Man, listen, that was great. We only went about an hour, so that's a good watch too. Yeah. You know, the free show from Greenwood to Belgium, man. Thank you, bro, for coming on this platform, man, and being one of my first guests when I got back, man. So that means a lot to me, man. This will be recorded in the L's of history.
It's an honor, man.
It is, man. So, love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Hey, listen, y'all subscribe at The Deep Surface Experience on YouTube and on Instagram. We love y'all, and thank you. We out. Deuces.